Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another great edition of my Grue Rume Show. For the Grue Rume Show today, got a very great guest. He is an actor, a voiceover actor. We're going to ask him all about that. He was in American Horror Stories and Shameless, and I'm talking about Harrison Zhu. And I'm really looking forward to talking to him about all that he's done in the entertainment world. I am Rocco Cross. I am the host of Stutters. I am the host of the Grue Room. And my interview with Harrison is coming up very soon. This is my Grue Room, and welcome to my nightmare. Stay tuned. Okay, thank you so much for taking time out of your day and coming on the show, and welcome to Grue.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Definitely, buddy, definitely. So, like, the first thing I wanted to ask you is, like, what drew you to want to get involved with this world of acting?
Yeah, I feel like with most people, did like high school theater
Yeah.
with all my friends, and I actually come from a family that is mostly in business, and
Wow.
I wanted to kind of combine my passions for both acting and business from my family side, and I wanted to become an agent actually.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so I came down to LA. I went to USC and I studied in the film and business schools, and I thought I'd be an agent. And the more I ventured into that world, the more I uh, felt something pulling me back into the acting world. There was just always something missing. So I kind of did both throughout college. I acted, I pursued being an agent, and then I actually worked in a talent agency right after college. And
Yeah. Wow.
um, yeah, it just wasn't for me. And then I just dove right into acting, and I've kind of been in it since.
Wow. That's awesome. So, like, when you were being a talent agent like that, you were probably looking, saying, "All right, yeah, this isn't for me." Like, just sitting here and booking the shows, like booking interviews and all that stuff. You wanted to be the actual person doing it, right?
Yeah, well, the thing is, when you're working at an agency, most people you have to start as an assistant for at least 2 to 3 years. And as an assistant to a talent
Oh,
agent, you're often scheduling actors' auditions or sending them to set or contracts and things like that, or reading scripts. And I would see, breakdowns come through for roles that I'd be like, oh, like I'd be perfect for that, or oh, I'm missing out on that, and it just got really sad. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I gotta pursue what I actually want to do.
oh, wow. Okay, okay. Well, I'm glad you found your way to film.
Yeah, me too.
And you do voice acting, voiceovers for international, like, series. And
Yeah,
how did you get to be part of that, and like, how does it work?
yeah. So I've been doing film TV acting for about 12 years now, and I just started
Oh,
voice
wow.
acting a little over 2 years ago. Um, at the beginning of the pandemic, nothing was shooting, all
Oh,
the
yeah.
productions were shut down, and I'd always had an interest in voice acting, but I was like, like that's a whole other world. That's really difficult. Like, let's focus on film TV. But when the pandemic hit, I was like, you know what? Like, let me try it. So
Yeah.
I, put together a demo reel, and I submitted to a bunch of agencies, and luckily I heard back from a couple, and yeah, I just started auditioning in the voiceover world, and
Mhm.
um, started booking a few gigs, and more gigs became more gigs and more, and all the studios kept bringing me back, and luckily now voiceover is a big part of my career.
Yeah.
Like you said, I do a lot of dubbing for international series. Some of them, or a lot of them have been from Korea. A lot of successful ones like All of Us
Mhm.
Are Dead and Sweet Home and Hometown Cha Cha Cha, and they've just been super fun. And the dubbing process is awesome because it's unlike film TV acting where you have to drive to set and
Yeah.
you got to memorize your lines, and it's a whole thing. With voice acting, it's great because I literally roll into a studio with my PJs and or, sweats or whatnot, and it's like for people that don't know what the dubbing process is like, it's kind of like emotional karaoke. Um, yeah, it's like when you're in the studio, it's like karaoke, the lines will go across, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's tough because you also have to act as well, and you have to honor the choices that the other actors have made. So it's a lot of fun.
Oh wow. Oh, so like I see. I didn't even know that when you're dubbing, you you they just don't send you a script to read and you do like a voice thing, and like they actually send you something where you have to read off the lines.
Yeah, so what happens is, for most of them, there's a lot of recording studios in Burbank, and you go there, you often don't know what project you're dubbing for, you don't know what character you're doing, and you show up and you watch the scene maybe once, maybe twice, and after you watch it, the band will go across, and you're kind of doing multiple things at once. You're trying to honor whatever the actor is currently doing. You're trying to
Yeah.
match the lip flaps to make sure that, it doesn't look ridiculous. And yeah, you're trying to act and do the timing at the same time. So yeah, it's awesome because it really works, both sides of your brain. And you have to really think quick on your feet because you don't have that time, right? Like with on camera acting, you get the script ahead of time, you get to really research your characters, or
Yeah.
really work on your lines ahead of time and understand what part of the arc your character is going through in that current scene, or what the story is. But with dubbing, you just show up and you kind of just do it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
And like how do they find like how do they pick you to be like the right voice for the actor you're dubbing for?
Yeah, so how it works is it's similar to film TV, right? Like you submit an audition. So in this case, it would just be a voiceover audition. A casting director would then listen to all the auditions, and they've already seen the series in the original language, so they know
Yeah.
how the character acts, what they look like. And oftentimes it's just, finding first and foremost, it's still acting, right? So you want to
Well,
make
yeah.
sure, like, the person that's submitting the audition, you believe what they're saying, and it doesn't feel forced or read. So you kind of, that's the first pass, right? You want to make sure you get good auditions. And then after that, you start listening to the auditions with the picture in mind, to be like, does this person sound like this could come out of this person's mouth? And then sometimes they actually have callbacks in person where it's a callback to picture, because they want to make sure that you can actually do the technical part of it, which is timing. So they'll
Oh,
bring you in and you'll do it. And then oftentimes they'll send, your voice with that person's face to the studio and they'll approve it.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
And you've actually worked on like three horror shows that I absolutely love. I'm a big horror fan,
Yeah.
and Sweet Home, All of Us Are Dead, Hellbound, like
Yeah.
those are some like really great television series that are playing, and you're the voice of those guys.
Yeah. Yeah. It's super cool. And it's fun too, because I'm also a horror fan. So
Oh,
when I see these
nice.
things and I'm dubbing them, like, oh, this is so fun. Like I get to run away from zombies, or, I get to kill this monster or whatever. And it's super fun working on those series too, because a lot of it is, you're like screaming and
Yeah.
grunting and you're running, and it's not just, the lines, it's all the efforts involved too, which
Well,
is,
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So like how do you get into like a mind frame for that? Like especially doing horror, like something like Hellbound being chased by demons,
Yeah.
and the same with like Sweet Home, and the all of us are dead, zombies, and like how do you get into the mind frame to play someone who's scared of like a demon, a zombie?
Yeah. I don't know. That's part of the acting, right? It's like you try to, picture yourself in that situation, except um you have a lot less time to do it, because it's
Yeah.
like, you show up and you're like, oh, today I'm getting chased by zombies. Like I didn't have like a day or two to prepare. I'm like in the situation. So it's just watching the scene, seeing what the actor's going through, and like doing the quick math in your head. It's like, all right, like what's going on right now? Like who are they with in the scene? Like what are the stakes? And trying to just bring all that to the scene. And also, it's tough too because in dubbing, you can't make additional noises. Like for example, if I'm running away from a zombie, right, I can't be actually running, like because you can hear the footsteps and like ruins the audio.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah,
you kind of
yeah.
kind of have to like do one of these and like get your heart racing and like pretend. So yeah,
Oh,
it's super
wow.
fun, but it's pretty difficult.
Yeah, that it definitely sounds difficult. I mean, I'm sure it's fun too, because to actually be the voice in these horror shows, like,
Yeah,
you know, you being a big horror fan, must that must be awesome. That must be fun.
yeah, it's super fun.
And have you watched the three horror series that you're part of?
I have actually, yeah, I've watched all of them. I
They're
know,
amazing. I
yeah,
love.
they're so good,
Oh
and I
my
love,
god, I love them.
yeah, like Korea takes so much risk with their content, and it's just so original and fun, and yeah, they've all done so well that I think Sweet Home and All of Us Are Dead are both getting another season. I think they're just
Yeah.
shooting it now or have shot it, but I'm super excited for when those come out.
Oh yeah, same. Now, do you know if you're going to be working for Sweet Home again, or All of Us Are Dead?
Yeah, I think. I mean, um, I don't know if my character. Well, spoiler, no spoilers, but I don't know if either of my characters are in the second season yet. It's been under wraps, but if they
Gotcha,
are,
gotcha.
presumably they bring the same voice actors back.
Okay, sweet, sweet.
Yeah.
And I mean, like being a fan of the three horror shows that you're part of,
Hmm.
is there any scene that you love the most, like from either show? Like, is there like a certain scene you're like, oh my god, that was so amazing?
Yeah. I would say probably my favorite scene was in um, All of Us Are Dead when my character Chung San he finds out for the first time that his mom has become a zombie, and he like runs to like protect her because all of his friends don't know that it's his mom and they're trying to kill her because she's a zombie, and he's like, no, like stay away, it's my mom, because there's still that human aspect of it. It's like, yeah, like I think he knows it's a zombie, but like it's still his mom at the end of the
Well,
day, and
yeah,
he's still in
exactly.
shock seeing her for the first time like that.
Nice. Yeah, yeah, I love horror, so like watching those series was great. I'm so happy, like you were saying, that Sweet Home is coming back. Like I think that was the first one I watched was,
Yeah,
and that was so well shot, so well done, and
yeah,
I was hoping they would have made a second one, because the way they ended it, I'm like, come on, you have to make a
yeah.
second season.
Yeah, yeah.
And you you also played Ralph on a very big television series, Shameless.
Yeah,
And I wanted to ask you, how was it like working on set, and what actors did you work with?
yeah. That was fun. That was one of my first roles when I moved to LA. I
Mhm.
grew up in Vancouver. I moved to LA for college. And yeah, I shot that I think my freshman year of college.
Wow.
Um, and yeah, it was super fun. I worked with uh Cameron Monaghan, Noel Fisher, two of the leads on the show,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, it was super fun. It was a very technical scene, like a lot of blocking involved, but the other two guys are super professional. Um they were very welcoming to set, and yeah, it was just overall a really good experience, and also such a good show too. Like
Oh my
Shameless is
God.
just in general just so well written and so well
I
acted.
I love that. That's one of my all-time best shows. Like I love it. And Cameron and like Ian and Mickey, I
Yeah,
love that couple. Like they're
yeah,
so good. They're them together is so good. Chemistry was good, and just like
yeah,
them always fighting, getting back together, fighting,
Yeah.
getting back together. Like that,
Yeah.
yeah, like the whole thing around them was great. And that's awesome that you acted with Ian and Mickey.
Yeah. 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 Totally.
And, sorry, I got something going
No,
there.
you're good.
And which which role would you say has been like, did you have the most fun with?
Um, that's a tough question. Because I don't know, they're all fun in their own ways, and just being on set in
Yeah.
general, anytime you can be on set is super fun. But I would say, last year I was part of this independent feature that's not out yet, that should be out soon, called Last Summer of Nathan Lee, where I got to play the lead in it, and it was my first time playing a lead in a feature
Oh
film.
wow, nice.
Yeah, and it's basically it's a coming of age story shot found footage style, where my character is dying of cancer. It's a senior year of high school, and his best friend is documenting his last summer essentially through the lens of his phone for a school
Oh,
project. uh, so yeah, it's super touching, and it's yeah, it's just basically about my character, and it's his last summer, like, he's trying to live it to his fullest. And um yeah, it was just a really awesome journey to play this character for 2 whole weeks on set, and being the lead of it was just really
yeah,
fun.
nice. Like that. Like how did it actually feel like your very first lead role for a film?
Yeah, it was really awesome, because I feel like, when you're on TV, like most actors in LA, you're making a living off of TV jobs, and it's odd
Yeah,
jobs here and there, and you're on a
yeah,
different set unless you're a series regular. But yeah, you're there, you do your work, everyone's super nice, you say hi to everyone, but then you're done, and then you're like on to your life. And
yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah.
really awesome being able to, not just the 2 weeks that we shot, but like a couple of weeks before, just preparing for the role and getting really into the character and the character's backstory. It was just cool being able to have an arc all the way through, and be with the same people every day. And it almost felt like summer camp. It was like a mini family that all came together to shoot this movie. And after we finished it, it was just really rewarding. It felt like I grew a lot as an actor, and gave me a lot of confidence. And yeah, it's just an amazing, incredible experience.
Oh wow, nice. And how did you wind up getting involved playing William on American Horror Stories?
Yeah, standard audition process. I submitted my audition, found out actually, like, I think in this case 3 weeks later that I booked it. And yeah, it's funny because at the time, um, I heard from my manager that the person playing my sister was also her client, so we both had the same manager. And
Nice.
her name's Valerie Liu. She's great, and we're still really close friends today, and hang out all the time. But yeah, it was super fun just acting with her, and everyone on set was super nice. And it's funny because for that particular episode, they were back at the murder house, and it was
Yeah.
Halloween. And for the wardrobe fitting, they put me in a bunch of different costumes. They put me in like an Assassin's Creed costume, like a zombie costume, like a vampire baseball costume, like a bunch of costumes. And it was super fun. And it's funny because, like, when we ended up shooting, they just put me in like the Letterman jacket and like a werewolf hat. But the werewolf hat they didn't even put on me. So I basically just had a Letterman jacket. So I could have just been any college kid. I was like, oh man, like I couldn't be any of these other costumes. But yeah, no, it was super fun.
Nice. And what did you like most about being on set for American Horror Stories and playing William?
Yeah, honestly, the costumes, like, it was just really cool seeing all the costumes that everyone was in. And American Horror Stories does such a great job with creating all these creatures and characters. And
Yes.
for the second episode I was in as William, there was a scene where like all these characters from all seasons past, like all the hit characters, came back to the murder house. So there was like the Rubber Man, and there was like God, I'm gonna butcher all these people's names, but like there was like this dude with some vacuum. I don't know, it was like all these like characters came back, and it was cool seeing them all. Yeah, they do such a great job with those costumes. It's
Oh
really
my
cool to see.
God, yeah. And what scene did you like filming the most from the show?
The scene that I enjoyed the most was when I get reunited with my sister.
Hmm.
So in the episode, my sister goes missing. Well, she actually dies, but I don't know, and I'm looking for her, and I find her at a haunted house sort of thing, and it's a really touching moment where brother and sister get to reconnect, but it's not what you think it is because she's dead. He doesn't know it yet.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like the one day of the year that she can come back to life, and yeah, it was cool just like playing like an emotional scene within this crazy universe of horror. It was cool just having that like really nice slice of life moment.
Sweet, sweet. And while you were there filming, like, was there any funny or cool behind the scenes stories that happened while you were
Oh, man.
filming American Horror Stories?
I don't know if it was funny or cool, but the most memorable thing was uh, Sierra, the lead girl who plays the rubber woman. She is running away from, or she's sorry, she's chasing someone trying to kill them, and she actually tripped and fell, and her latex suit just like completely ripped.
Oh my
And it
God.
was like a moment where everyone's like, heart sunk, like, oh my God, like, is she okay?
Yes.
She was totally fine. She's a trooper, but like her whole suit was just like ripped.
Oh
But
no,
luckily they
that's
had
horrible.
another backup suit. But yeah, it was something that I'll never forget because everyone was like, oh no, like, is she okay? But yeah.
Wow. And are you actually a fan of the show too? Like being a horror fan? Like, are you a fan of American Horror Story and American Horror Stories?
Yeah, I watched season one of American Horror Stories. I didn't watch the rest of them, but I'm a recent horror fan because growing up I was too scared to watch horror
Oh,
because I think
okay.
I was scarred because when I was like 6, my dad brought me to the movies and we watched The Mummy, and there was
Uh,
this scene of like the cockroaches crawling within the dude's skin that like completely turned me off from horror for the longest time.
oh no.
And when I started working, I've done a lot. I do a lot of film marketing as a side gig. I did a
Mhm.
lot of film marketing for Blumhouse movies,
Yeah, yeah.
so I had to watch them for work. And then the more I watched them, I was like, you know what, like some of these are actually really good because I feel like with horror, my thought with horror for the longest time was like, oh, it's all just slasher and gore and
Dang.
needless violence, but I think within horror, there's so many subgenres that are awesome, like psychological thrillers with what Jordan Peele does, with
Mhm.
even like your classic horrors, like they're so well done now, like with it, and
Yes.
like there's just so many good horror movies. I'm like, oh wait, like I actually really do enjoy this genre, so I've been trying to get more into it. But yeah, like American Horror Story, I think started pre my interest in horror.
Okay, sweet, sweet.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see working with Blumhouse is actually what got you back to wanting to do horror.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And what do you like doing during your free time when you're not acting?
Oh man. My weeks are generally like, in terms of hobbies, I'm an avid rock climber. I go to the rock climbing gym like
Oh wow.
a few times a week. Growing up in Canada, naturally I'm a hockey player, so I play
Oh
hockey.
nice.
I golf. That's like a new pandemic hobby that I've had. And then yeah, I like going to the movies, at least, once a week,
Yeah.
seeing what's, the newest release,
Yeah.
and just traveling. Yeah, I really enjoy traveling. Yeah.
Nice. What position do you play for hockey?
I'm a goalie.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Are you a Flyers fan?
I am, yeah.
Sorry.
I know, right? What about you? Which team? What's your
Uh,
team for hockey?
not great either. I'm a Sharks fan and a Canucks fan, and they're both terrible. So
Oh, well, yeah, the Flyers are in the same boat, so yeah. So,
yep, here we are. Yeah.
what about goalies? Do you have like an all-time best goalie that you like?
Uh, Nicholas Backstrom, which is kind of a
Oh
throwback.
yeah,
Yeah, he's a Minnesota Wild goalie.
nice.
Yeah.
Be- Being a Flyers fan for so long, my favorite goalie was Ron Hextall. Like I
Yep.
loved him.
Classic. Classic. Yep.
Nice. And I see you stay in shape too. So what are your workouts like?
Yeah. I hate going to the gym, like regular gym and lifting weights.
Yeah.
So yeah, my exercise is usually just going to the climbing gym, playing hockey, playing tennis, golf, every activity that gets me into shape except for actually going to the gym.
And do you have like a diet or do you eat whatever you want?
Honestly, I'm terrible. I eat whatever I want. I eat a lot of fast food. I love McDonald's. I can't help it, but yeah.
So would that be like your your best like cheat food, junk food is going there?
Yeah, love junk food. I love junk food.
Nice, nice. And what's your drink of choice? I don't know if you drink drink beer or liquor or anything. Like, do you have a drink of choice?
I don't drink alcohol, so my favorite drink is horchata.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
There you go. And you also own your own production place, right?
Yeah, I created a production company a few years ago, but mostly just I create a lot of sketches and shorts on my
Oh,
free time.
nice.
So just a way to, stay creative and yeah, like just put stuff out in the world.
Okay, okay. And what did you do for Halloween? Did you dress up for Halloween? Did you?
Yeah, I was a little lazy this year, so it was like a Halloween light, but I dressed up as soy sauce. So I had a Kikkoman shirt and a red beanie. So if you've ever seen those like soy sauce dispensers at
I
a
do,
Chinese
yeah,
restaurant, yeah,
yeah.
I was one of those.
It's smart though. It's clever.
Yeah.
And what are some horror films you were watching during Halloween season?
Um. Uh, so yesterday or a couple days ago at a Halloween party, there was Halloween Kills on.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, we just kind of like cycled through all the newest Halloween movies.
Okay.
So yeah, we saw those. In terms of classic Halloween movies, uh, my my fiance likes Hocus Pocus.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
um, but yeah, we actually we do more Halloween music than Halloween movies. I feel like we like always have Halloween music going on during the time.
Nice, nice. I love it. Like all the good Halloween titled songs, like the classic Halloween songs, and
Yeah,
yeah.
like Monster Mash and
Oh yeah. Oh
Thriller
yeah.
and all
Oh yeah.
that good stuff.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And are you a big fan of video games? Like, are you a gamer?
Yeah, I used to be a lot bigger of a gamer. Now I just don't have as much time. But yeah, I think right now it's more just uh more like casual party games, like the Mario games and things
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. We actually play a lot more board games now because it's a little
Oh,
more
okay.
social. Um, But yeah, what do you play?
I got a PlayStation 4 still. I didn't upgrade the PlayStation 5 yet, but I love playing like wrestling games and of course
Nice.
horror games. Like, did you ever play
Yeah.
on Till Dawn?
Mm,
It's a really good horror game. And
nice.
last last of us, that's like
Yeah.
another good horror game. And
Yeah.
what's the other one? Like the something with dead in it. I forgot. Like I don't know. No,
Yeah.
the evil within. That
Oh
like
yeah, yeah. I've heard of that one too.
I got all these like horror games on my PlayStation 4 and like a couple wrestling games. So I'm a big wrestling fan too. So
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, the voice actress who um did the voice for my love interest in All of Us Are Dead,
Mhm.
she um she spent 2 years working on The Last of Us Part Two. She was one of the characters in it, Yara.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah,
Okay, okay. That's awesome. That's awesome.
yeah, yeah. So
Like,
just hearing from her, it seems like, motion capture in the video game world is
yeah.
super interesting and very yeah, very intricate.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And now like the video games now are nothing to what they were like for Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis.
Sure.
Like now
Yeah,
like the storyline is like watching a movie.
absolutely. And I'm sure you're excited then for the HBO series for The Last of Us coming out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, should be fun. At least I'm hoping it's a lot like the game. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And what about songs? Like what kind of music do you like? What's on your playlist?
I listen to a lot of like indie music. I've recently gotten more into EDM.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, a couple days ago I actually went to I went to my first rave. It was a music festival called Escape Halloween, and it was
Oh, I
actually really
love it.
cool. Yeah, because a lot of people are dressed up in their Halloween costumes, and a lot of the
Yeah.
stages were like Halloween themed with like skeletons and spiders and creatures. It was really cool to see.
Nice. Nice. So how did you like it? Like your your first rave, you said, right?
Yeah, it was super fun. Actually, really enjoyed it. Really cool energy. Everyone, super nice, and it's just really cool seeing all the exhibitions because there were like haunted houses they had there too, and like other like they had
Nice.
freak shows, and yeah, they just had people dressed up really, like yeah, really like cool costumes. So it was cool to see.
Oh man, that sounds like so much fun. I would have loved to went to something like that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And if you were out with friends or your soon to be wife, and what would be your go-to karaoke song?
Good question. Um, my go-to karaoke songs, I have two of them. A Thousand Miles and I'll Make a Man Out of You from Mulan.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Nice. And do you have anything coming up next that you want to plug or?
Yeah, I have luckily this year I've worked on a lot of dubbing projects. So there's
Oh,
a couple,
nice.
really fun ones coming out on Netflix. I don't know if I can talk about them yet, but there's also I just shot an episode on this procedural TV series on Fox that should come out actually in 2 weeks. So I can tell you more about that when it comes out.
Okay.
And then yeah, hopefully Last Summer of Nathan Lee, the movie I was telling you about. Hopefully that comes out in the next couple of months too. Right now we're in the process of submitting to film festivals and
Mhm.
everything. So hopefully yeah, should premiere soon.
Sweet. And where can fans follow you at?
Yeah, my Instagram is my last name, first name. So Zoo Harrison, XUHARRISON. I'm also on Twitter, Harrison_Zoo. But yeah, those are kind of the two main platforms I use.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day and coming on the show. I know we've been trying to do this for a couple days, and I'm happy you stood by me and was able to do this.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was super fun.
Yeah, it was really fun talking to you. Anytime you want to come back on to talk about whatever work you're doing, like
Sure.
that would be awesome.
Yeah, maybe when season 2 comes out for Sweet Home and All of Us Are Dead.
Definitely, yes, definitely. Oh my god, I'm looking forward to those. Okay, buddy. Again, thanks for coming on, and definitely have a great rest of the week.
Cool. Thanks. You too.
Thank you.